Oh, okay. Well, it came on. All right. So awesome. I'm not sure how to get myself positioned to do this because this is the first time I'm doing a live. So, hey, everybody. Yeah, my name is Anita. Of course, this is the core finish, and this is our very first live for today. And y'all, please work with me because I don't know how to position my laptop. I'm in my office and I don't know how to position my laptop. So I'm feeling really quirky right now because the way I'm looking and all that. But I'm going to assume that if I look straight ahead, this is going to be it. What's up, guys? What's up? Okay. So, real quick, I wanted to come on here and talk about. I have listened to um, a story on YouTube that was talking about the current job crisis, the job market, and how it was saying that how 1 in 4 people are unemployed. Okay. And this is especially so since the very beginning, I suppose, of the year. I really didn't. This time, I didn't listen to the entire um, YouTube story. It's on I allegedly, and I think the title of it is "1 in 4 is Unemployed." And then he went on to mention different subgroups of people who were. First of all, he started out by talking about how the reality is that the job market is not as good as they've been trying to make it out to be. But he mentioned something about different groups, different demographic groups, and I'm kind of, I mean, it's his channel. He talks about whatever he wants because I'm going to talk about whatever I want. But he mentioned how specific demographics um, are seeing greater levels of unemployment. And he mentioned, of course, Hispanics, and he mentioned black women. Now, one of the things that's important to pay attention to or to notice is that there's a stark contrast when it comes to working between Hispanic women and black women. First and foremost, Hispanic women, um, the majority of them either have a husband who's working and they're taking care of the kids, or they're doing more or less some type of domestic type work. Generally speaking, I know that's a big generalization, but that's a big generalization. But by and large, the majority have not put in the time, the effort, and the money, the expenses that especially black women have put into to go to college and to position themselves for these different jobs that up until recently seem to be dwindling. So, okay, the statistics are saying what, around 20% realistically of folks are unemployed. Well, that's questionable because they're going by the what is it? The working on a regular job, 32 hours or more a week. Okay, there are folks who don't work 32 hours a week on a regular job, and then people get tied up or been out of shape about the regular job, scenario. There are a whole bunch of people who are contractors. They work for themselves. They're self-employed, and they have to make it work. And that's what they're doing. They're making it work with what they have. So the statistics are skewed in a way because what is considered to be employment is kind of it's very questionable. And then too, you have the gig workers. Gig workers work more than 40 hours a week in many instances. Many of the gig workers that I know, because I do some gig work, of course, to supplement my business as I'm building my business. Thanks to AI, that was a suggestion that AI gave me to do. But um, most of the gig workers that I know work more than 40 hours a week. So how does that factor into what they're saying when they say that the unemployment rate is so high? I don't know. I think maybe those numbers are actually inflated, or they're looking at the old way of working and not understanding that everything has changed and people have had to adapt to a different environment and have to make the best of what they can and are making the best of it. Yes, I thought that was very interesting because Black women have invested quite a lot of time and money in their education in order to qualify for jobs. And many of these jobs, their ability to continue in them are being taken away because they were classifying them as DEI people, which is just a bunch of crap. It's just an excuse to make way for somebody who is really less qualified for the job, but have done a lot for that, and in different groups. He didn't, and he mentioned the white people going up slightly, but even on that, it's not a large increase. Just the bottom line is, the job market itself is not what it's been presented to be to a great extent. So that leads us to the question of what are we going to do about it? How do we adjust to the changes in? Um, I'm a firm believer having a foundation in technology and a strong appreciation for entrepreneurship. Is that technology? We're going through one of those shifts again, where technology is changing the way people work, just like computers and the internet changed the way people work back in the from the 70s to the 90s to 2000s. AI is changing everything again, and a lot of the jobs that we have traditionally gone to school for to learn skills for are quite frankly going to be eliminated, of necessity eliminated, because the goal of capitalism is efficiency. So there's a lot to think about. But in the meantime, until they decide to start giving people money for just living, and the attitude toward being on welfare is not good, we really have to think about how to make it. That's something I have to think about, how to make it. And sometimes you really don't want to do anything, and that's the truth. I know if I was much younger and raising kids, my focus would be on wanting to raise the kids and help them to be the best that they could be, and prepare them for what's ahead. But at the same time, you have to take care of yourself. So a lot going on, a lot going on. I just wanted to add my feedback to that. And I saw somewhere that somewhere recently, a whole bunch of white men in hoods went on a decided they want to walk the streets and stuff. These people out here getting bold and acting crazy, but they can keep doing it. They can keep doing it. Okay. Anyway, take care. Have a good one. Bye.